Thank you, Tom. Hi, I'm excited to be here alongside Governor McKee because we're happy to report that this week, after the vacation, we know that the majority of our schools are back in person. So it's been a Herculean effort by the schools, the teachers, the educators, the municipalities, all working together to make sure that vaccines have been available to our educators. So we're really excited about the collaboration and very grateful. Throughout the collaboration, we're seeing the shift in our schools. So over the break, we reached out to school leaders to get a sense of where we are as a state. So at this point, there is no school, either in elementary, middle, or high, that is full distance learning. In fact, 208 out of the 265 schools that responded are fully in person. And approximately 97% of public schools at the elementary and middle school levels are learning mostly fully in the classroom. At the elementary level, there are 34 out of the 35 of our public schools are currently in person, either learning 4 or 5 days in person. So that's really exciting for us. At the middle school level, 33 out of the 34 of our public schools are currently in person, learning either 4 or 5 days in person. This is progress and speaks to our families' confidence in the work that we've been doing collectively to get our students back to school safely. But I do have to underscore that each day that passes without students learning in the classroom only impacts the disruption that has been caused by the pandemic. So I know that many of you are still worried, but if you're listening, parents, please, if you're worried and it is not a medical reason, the mitigation efforts that have been put in place are working. Look at the data. Keeping our children healthy is our main priority. But we know from the very beginning that schools have been one of the safest places for our kids. So now, with the efforts of the municipalities to vaccinate our 16+ population, we can provide even more protections to our student population and their families. Vaccination is one of the best ways to protect our students both in and out of school. We've seen how devastating the pandemic has been for our students over the past year. The distance learning only amplifies that effect. So please, please consider the last 2 months of our school year that you do send your child to school if you have the ability to do so. That's why, thinking about all the disruption that we've had, we put together a task force, the Learning, Equity, and Accelerated Pathway Task Force. We call it LEAP. And we spent the last 2 months poring over the data and looking at what it means for our kids. So one of the priorities that has been the report brings forth is the importance of in-person education. We've known it, we've been saying it, but it is in black and white. And then also, what are the pathways that we need to put in place in order for us to accelerate the learning for our students? So we are really excited about the LEAP report. If you have not seen it, it came out yesterday, and all the recommendations. And we looked a lot at the data. Data is really important. As you've probably heard before, everybody's talking about learning loss, but nobody really knows what that looks like. That's why the RICAS is more important this year than ever, but also really looking at where we are at this point and how we support our students moving forward. Because the plan came out yesterday, that doesn't mean that we started the work yesterday. So we already have built on Enroll RI a plethora of opportunities for the summer. Starting Monday, parents will be able to look at all the applications, all the opportunities for their students available free statewide. So I'm really excited about this opportunity as we move forward and as we continue to bring our kids into the building. We are going to beat COVID. We know that. As Rhode Island, we have always been on top of that. And you hear where we are with the vaccinations. Now we need to really focus in on making sure that our kids, that we make up the time with our kids and make sure that we provide them with accelerated learning as we move forward. Thank you.